Hello, this is Dr. Salvatore Vinciguerra, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the Oconaluftee Indian Village in Cherokee, North Carolina. If you're wanting a great experience to learn about the Cherokee Indians and the other Native American tribes that lived in and around the Great Smoky Mountains, this is an excellent reproduction of an Indian village that once existed here in the Great Smoky Mountains. When you first get to the Ocanaluftee Indian Village, I highly suggest that you take one of the guided tours, as it gives you a great overview of each of the different craft stations. And then this way, after the tour, you can go back and spend more time watching these wonderful craftspeople and ask them questions about their artwork. Tours are given about every 15 minutes, and what you're about to experience is a living history and also a lot of crafts of what the Cherokee Native Indians did in the 18th century. And so what you're about to see are finger weaving, basket weaving, pottery, weaponry, and much more. And you're able to ask these artists questions and explain in further detail about each one of their crafts. And it's a great experience for people of all ages, especially children that want to learn about the Native Americans that lived in this area of Cherokee, North Carolina.
We also had different type of sizes. Wind it up like that, and start pushing it down slowly. Then once we start doing that, we can pick up the pace. And at the tip of it, it would have been made out of flint.
Let's learn a little bit about basket weaving from our tour guide.
So if this handle ever broke, you'd have to take it off and start a whole new basket. This one's a drop handle basket, and this one was a lot more popular because this handle was easy to fix. Instead of weaving your handle with the basket, what you do is you start, and then once you got to the top, you could just put your handle on. And if this ever broke, you just have to take the handle off and then put a whole new one on. Our two types of baskets were the single and double. This one's a double, so what you do is you start at the bottom, go all the way to the top, and once you got to the top, you would bend your strips back down and then end at the bottom. This is our single, and this one you start instead of, once you got to the top you have to bend it back down. What you do is you just start at the top and then put your rim on and then you'd be done. Now the pattern you see right here, it's called a snake on a limb, and that's one of our oldest patterns. It's been around for more than 2,000 years.
Now we're moving from basket weaving to how the Native Americans made their weapons, and this includes the bows and arrows and also the arrowheads. And it's so nice to see that one of the older members of the tribe was teaching one of the younger members of the tribe how to make these different weapons. This is an amazing demonstration of how the Native Americans use their weapons, and here our tour guide is going to demonstrate how he uses a blowgun. Now let's take a look at some of the homes that the Cherokees had during the 18th century.
We're also going to find a rope to kind of rope that off. It's over at Canoes now.
This is a sweat house. Sweat houses were used for winter homes. Each family owned one and would use them during harsh winters. A larger sweat house would be built to the center of the village. This was used by the medicine man and used for a hospital. When a person was sick, they would be laid on one of the benches and an herbal tea would be poured over heated river stones in the middle. This would then cause the person to sweat out their sickness. This part of the tour is self-guided, and what I liked about it was that there was a different person in front of either a home or experience that would either guide you through the experience or that you could ask questions about how the Cherokee Indians lived. This was a very fascinating experience to see how the Native Americans dug out a canoe. And as you can see, they're using fire in order to take maybe a 40-foot log and hollow it out so that they could use it as a canoe. This building is called the Council House, and this is the structure in which the Native Americans performed many of their religious ceremonies. This is a place of prayer and healing for Native Americans, and this is where the elders would perform ceremonies which included many of their songs. Let's listen to one of the Native Americans talk about the religious beliefs of the Cherokee Indians.
Because we were already worshiping a single creator, we were just doing it in a different context. But we do have a single creator, but it's not male or female. It's just the creator. We didn't a need to assign gender to it. Because we didn't even, back in the day, we didn't even have separate genders. You know, people were just people.
How much do y'all pay as they going on the whole gender thing? How much do y'all say listen to like actual political issues within the...
Now I'm on my way to the square grounds. The square or dance grounds were considered sacred and are where the Cherokee would dance as a form of prayer to their creator. Seats were provided in 7 sections, each section representing one of the 7 clans. Everyone was included in the dances and celebrations, and there was usually a feast involved. These celebrations could go on for several hours. Some would last for days. Just like the council house, the square grounds were located in the center of the village.
Together, and when I shake you around, the men are going to go behind these ladies and tell them praise, because in our culture, we hold our women to a very high standard. And so it's going to be our shelu, our corn dance. None of his stuff. None of his stuff. Oh, hallelujah! 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 Hey, go, hallelujah! Hallelujah! Hey, go, hallelujah! Hallelujah! Hey, go, groundhogs build that burrow together. And so this is going to be our groundhog dance. Done his stuff. Done his stuff. There you go. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Yeah! Oh yeah! Yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Yeah! Oh yeah! Yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, hey ya goo, yeah, hey ya goo, yeah, hey ya goo, hey ya goo, yeah, hey ya goo, yeah, hey ya goo, hey ya goo, hey ya goo. Yeah, hey, yeah, yeah, why are you in my bathroom? Why are you in my bathroom? Hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, This is almost like Simon Says, so when I do a certain call, everyone's responds. So I'm going to go, Ellie, Mom. That's not like that bullfrog. That there bullfrog. Now the reason why we do this dance is because I think it's fun, and the dancers they get mad at me afterwards. they do get me. Alrighty, well this is going to be our bullfrog dance. That is style. Here we go. Wally wally yo ha, wally wally yo ha, wally wally yo ha, wally wally yo ha, hele, hele, hele. Wally wally yo ha, wally wally yo ha, wally wally yo ha, hele, hele, hele. Wally wally yo ha, wally wally yo ha, hele, hele, hele. Higgly, higgly, yo, ha. Higgly, higgly, yo, ha. Higgly, higgly, yo, ha. Diddly, 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 diddly. Alright, here we go. Higgly, higgly, yo, ha. Higgly, higgly, yo, ha. Higgly, higgly, yo, ha. Higgly, 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 yo, ha. Higgly, 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 higgly. You'll see the men lined up on one side and the women on the other. Now the reason why is because these men are going to try and find themselves a wife. So when they come up and meet these ladies, they're going to come up and they're going to show up. Now these ladies, they're either going to bow if they're impressed, or if not, they just simply ignore them. Now the reason behind it is because the women aren't impressive enough, they do not have to prove themselves to anybody. It's the men that have to do that. And so it's going to be our quail dance, done a hit style. Oh yeah! 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 will slow down and the bears will start picking up berries and nuts off the ground to back themselves up for the winter. And so it's going to be our Yona Ashkisi, our bear dance, done at his style. Here you go. Come on out and do some walking and talking with us. The dancers are going to come out and they're going to see if you want to come on out and dance with us. So if you want to come on out, just come on out and you can line up.
Yeah, clue.
All right, Craig, show them the way.
Now let's listen to a lecture on the music and instruments of the Cherokee Indians.
Pottery or the clay, but once we had access to metal tools, we were able to carve them out of logs. They would be hollowed out on only one side, and then a groundhog skin or any tough animal skin is going to be placed on top, sealed with a hickory band. The reason why this is called a water drum is because the tone of this drum can actually change depending on the amount of water you have in here. So if you want a higher pitch, it's going to fill that water up. If you want a lower pitch, pour that water out. If you don't really care about the sound, you can leave it the way it is, or just pour the water out completely. For movies and TV. Same concept as water drum, but this is actually going to be hollowed out on both sides. The animal skin placed on the top and the bottom. So this is a single tone drum because no matter how tight you bond this leather together, it's still going to be the same tone. And here's a drum beat you've probably heard from those movies and TV. I'll say that, strictly Hollywood, we never use that drum beat. I believe only one tribe has ever actually used that beat. For us, it was always a single beat, and that varied on speed, or it would sound something like this. What we were trying to do there is mimic the very first sound that everybody hears within their lifetime, which is your mother's heartbeat while you were still in the womb. Usually the dance leader would have always worn a mask, and it would be decorated according to the dance that we were doing. So if we're doing our bear dance, bear furs would be placed on here. If we're doing a corn dance, corns would be placed on here. Before metal tools, they were made out of tree bark, gourds, or even a hornet's nest. Just anything soft enough to carve with flint, because that's all we had at the time. But once we had access to metal tools, the mask became a little bit more pretty than this right here. And now we had a mask for each dance that we did. This is our bear mask for our bear dance. I'm not sure if our singer told you or not, but the dance was performed before going out on a bear hunt to ask the creator for luck on that hunt. And then when we got back, we'd actually place that bear in the middle of the square, do the dance again to give thanks and honor to that animal for its sacrifice. A common misconception that the settlers had when they first arrived, they thought we were worshiping these animals. That simply wasn't the case. We were just showing our respect for all these animals. We even have an ant dance. We don't really have a use for ants. They don't really do much for us, but we still show our respect for them and pretty much all animals. Even the turtle. I don't think we have a turtle dance, but our way of showing respect for that turtle is by using his shells for our rattles. Picking up on the post and right here in my hand. You may notice our dances was always man, woman, man, woman. Now what the women would wear would be these right here. They would tie them just below their knee like this. It was never seen because they always had long dresses that always covered them. And they would shuffle their feet as they danced to give them this sound. So these right here are called shakers, and only the women wore these. And they wore them to help keep rhythm in our dances. These right here are eagle wands for our eagle dance. If you guys haven't seen it yet, Under These Hills we'll perform our eagle dance. So you'll have a little preview of that. That'd be one of the dances we would have took seriously because it was a victory dance and it was performed in 3 stages. The dancers would outstretch their arms like an eagle in flight, and then they eventually come down like this. That symbolized that eagle gathering up everybody's prayers and then finally taking them up to the Creator. The eagle is one of the highest flying birds around, and we believe that the eagle had the highest or closest contact to the Creator. That's why we chose to use him to help carry our prayers. Now you couldn't be just anybody to use these. You had to be a well-respected young man among the village. Usually the elders chose who got to use these. If at any point he bragged about using these, somebody else would be put into a spot because that was seen as a sign of immaturity. Hours or even days, like I was telling a few of you, the dances you see performed here are very abbreviated versions because we do have to show you multiple dances within a short amount of time. The real dances are going to have multiple verses, and they can last however long the singer wants. Now obviously you're not going to be dancing for days at a time. You will be switching out with people that are in the arbors just anytime you want to take a break. Or you don't have to take a break at all if you don't want to. And you always sat with your clan just like in the council house. When you got your clan from your mother's, whatever your mother was, that was the clan you were born into. My mom's from the Bird clan, so I'm from the Bird clan. And my grandma was from the Bird clan, that just goes on and on. And each clan had their own job within the village to keep it running. Start over there with the Blue clan. Those are pediatricians. They would doctor all the children throughout their young lives. That way, when they became adults, they would be immune to almost every disease in the area. It isn't until the introduction of smallpox that killed off most of our population. They were also the ones responsible for adopting any orphan children, or if somebody didn't have a clan that was brought into the village, they would go to the Blue clan. And next we have the Pink clan. They're responsible for gathering up all our paints and also the barrier of our people. Now, the paint you see on that mask is red, black, and white. The red stood for life and power, the black stood for death and hatred, and the white stood for purity. So when our warriors went off to battle, they would cover themselves head to toe in that red and black paint to show they're ready for battle and ready to give their life for their own people. The white stood for purity, so that white was never worn during battle. And then next we have the birth end. Those are our historians and our storytellers. We didn't have a written language up until about 1850s.
Don't forget to visit the Indian Gardens, as they are adjacent to the Ocanaluftee Indian Village. This is a very relaxing hike where you get to walk and see the various herbs and plants that the Cherokee Indians grow. This is medicine according to Cherokee legend. The old ones say that at one time all of creation spoke the same language. The plants could communicate with the finned ones. The four-leggeds could speak with the trees. The stones could talk with the wind, and even the most dependent, most pitiful part of creation, the two-leggeds, or as we have come to call ourselves, the humans, could also speak with the other parts of creation. All existed in harmony. The plants, the animals, and the elements of the four directions, all existence, all knew that if the two-leggeds were to survive, they would need help. The animals gave of themselves, willingly sacrificing so that the humans could have food. They knew that their skins were much better suited to survival than that of the humans, so they allowed their skins to be taken and used for clothing and shelter. The fin ones, the flyers, and the crawlers also allowed themselves to be used by the humans to ensure their survival. The plant people, the standing people trees, and the stone people rocks freely gave of themselves so that the humans had what they needed for food, clothing, and shelter. An agreement was forged that the two-leggeds would ask permission for these gifts, give thanks for the sacrifice, and take no more than what they needed. And so it was good. But then the two-legged started growing in numbers and began to feel themselves more important than the rest of creation. They began to believe that the web of life revolved around them, ignoring the fact that they were just one small part of the circle. The two-leggeds began to kill without asking permission. They began to take more than what they needed. They ceased to give thanks. All parts of the agreement were broken. The great animal councils banded together to determine what they should do to right these wrongs. They needed to protect themselves from destruction and eradication. And so it was decreed by the council, if one of their clan was killed by the two-leggeds, and thanks was not given for the sacrifice, the chief animal spirit would afflict the disrespectful killer with a devastating disease. The plants were distressed and said to the animals, "They wrong us too. They dig us up, trample us, burn us out, and don't even listen when we try to tell them what we can do to help them. Yet we feel compassion for the two-leggeds. Man struggles to realize his place in the web of creation, and he cannot learn if he is wiped out by disease. Man needs our help. So for every disease you animals bring to them, we, the plant people, will give them a cure. All the two-leggeds have to do is listen when we talk to them." Like numerous other Native American tribes, the knowledge of Cherokee medicine was handed down from generation to generation to chosen healers. Traditional Cherokee members consulted their medicine people for not only medical problems, but also dilemmas in their lives and emotional problems. Like other Native American tribes, their most frequently used remedies were for common colds, aches, and pains. This is Dr. Salvatore Vinciguerra. Thank you for watching this video on the Ocanaluftee Indian Village in Cherokee, North Carolina. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to this channel, and have a great day. Thank you.